What a match. What a freaking match. Sammy Guevara, beast. Cody Rhodes, starting to get into that conversation, man. These guys went and put it all on the line. Now let's get into it. What is up? My name is Lloyd, and this is the Middle Card, which are my takes on the world of professional wrestling. So let's go. Man, AEW just be giving away these matches. They just love giving away pay-per-view quality matches on regular TV. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at it. I completely 100% appreciate it. So, that being said, we had Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed TNT Championship. Now, why I really like this match was because it's not like the ladders were the primary focus. It wasn't all about doing crazy things with ladders. It more came across that the ladders were a means to an end. They were just a means to an end to accomplish the goal. And at different points in time, the ladders just happened to be in positions where you could get the best possible offense, which was awesome. I mean, from that delayed vertical suplex off of the ladder, which was crazy, to that cutter that everybody's going to be talking about for years on end. One of the top two cutters that I think I've ever seen. The first one would be Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, where Seth tried to go for that curb stomp and Randy kind of just pushed him off into the air and came down with that RKO. And then this one would be 1 and 2, interchangeable, but those are the two most memorable ones that I can think of. So now that this is all over, Sammy's won the TNT Championship. I don't think I would have gone into that direction. And hear me out for a moment. While I am a super big fan of Sammy Guevara and his work, between him and Cody, he's the less compelling of the two. He doesn't have this story development that everybody's just watching and is fixated on the way that it is with Cody right now. Now, you could also make the argument, though, that because of that, Cody doesn't actually need the title, but I would prefer him with the title because he has all of these different situations going on. And if you involve the title in all of that, to me, it just comes across as more important. Not just that, too, it's because I had an idea, and I still need to make this video, and it is coming. But how to get Cody to the World Championship. But it's coming. It's coming. That being said, I mean, we'll see what they do with Sammy. The good thing is I can't really see any potential challengers for it right now, which means I'm left to be surprised, which is always a good thing. So hopefully they're able to do something in order to further along the character development of Sammy Guevara so that I'm just fixated on his journey and his growth and his development. As far as the matches go, the matches that he has are always really good. And if the TNT title is a workhorse title, perfect. That's great. I would just love to see a lot more in that character development of Sammy and him delivering hard-hitting promos. Maybe now that his relationship with Ty Conti is out there, maybe we start doing things where people are coming at her, making comments about her, and making this thing sort of personal, and that makes this title more important and the story more important. Now, as for Cody, I think we're getting to that conversation, man. I think we're getting to that conversation when we start talking about one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. And what makes him so unique is storytelling. That's what it comes down to. This whole involvement or this whole scenario, is he a heel or is he a baby face? Which is really interesting because AEW prides itself on giving the fans what they want. Yet here you have Cody, who is committed to being a babyface when everybody wants him to turn heel, and because of that, the fans are lashing out on him. Now, I also believe it's because everybody wants him to challenge for the AEW Championship, and subconsciously or not, they're trying to push that along. But he's the most compelling guy in the company, and for that reason, I would have kept the title on him because there are so many stories to tell. And then between the challengers that he goes through and between all of his promos and then everything that you're doing with him, it just furthers that story along, and it makes that TNT title so very important. Like, you don't want to call it a secondary title. Well, the way to do that is have it on the guy that is telling the most compelling story right now. Unless you're going to push him for the AEW Championship, keep that on him and have him be the vessel that propels that title to that status, so that the TNT title and the AEW Championship are on equal footing. So where do we go from here with Cody? I don't even know, because he swears that he doesn't even have a contract right now. At least not as a talent. Probably as an EVP, but not as a talent. So is he going to show up in the Royal Rumble? That would be so crazy if he showed up in the Royal Rumble. So he dropped the title to show up in the Royal Rumble and then go back to AEW within a couple of weeks. People have been calling that out. I don't think it's going to happen. But Jesus Christ, if that were to happen, everybody's eyes would be fixated on both products. It would be good for both companies, to be honest, at this point in time. But if Cody's going to be staying in AEW, then where do you go from here? Because now that he doesn't have the TNT title, I don't want him to get back into that role where he's trying to tell these Codyverse stories and there's no payoff. He's not challenging for any titles. He's just hanging out there, and then people see him as, oh, well, why is he getting wins when he's not even challenging for titles, and making himself seem more important. We really have to further this along, and I really think that now's the time to start pushing him towards the AEW Championship. And to be honest, there's so much that you could do. All of the great villains actually think that they're the heroes. So he's been called Homelander and whatnot. Well, why not have him be a heel while he continues to think that he's the babyface and doing the right thing, and that he's doing it for the fans and doing it for all of them, while he's catching all this heat to the point where he gets the AEW Championship. And then he's going to be the most talked about guy in professional wrestling for a period of time. More talked about than Roman Reigns, I believe, actually. We can do this. We can make this happen. And I think the time is now.